Okay, so we're going to introduce you to Excel. Now, what we plan to do, we plan to create something like this, right? We want to find the data, and we want to plot the data according to the group of data that you're interested to look at, right? How to do that in Excel. So we're going to create a blank workbook, right? And we said sheets here, we can rename it by double click it. So I'm going to name it to data, and I'm going to name this to graph. So click on data. I found the data. I'm going to paste the data right here, right? Okay, so now let me make sure I'm going to have the resources, copy the link, and also let me add the resources right here called resources, right? Or references. Okay, references. So I have that. I have the data. Now, before we really want to get into details more, I want you to learn the basic of using Excel first. I'm going to go to the new sheets right there, insert. In Excel, this is like your calculator that can do almost everything that you can imagine that you want to use, more than your regular computer. Okay. Like for example, if I type number 1 here, if I drag it right there, it's going to copy all the ones for me. See that? All ones, right? So how do I do that? You type number 1, move your mouse to the bottom right corner where there's a black dot, right? And then when your mouse change from white to small black plus, that is ready. Click on it and hold and drag it. It's going to copy as many as you want. Same if you want to copy to, we call rows and columns. If you want to copy by columns, then you can, if you just do one cell, it's going to do just one, right? But if you want to do more, then you have to highlight like that, more. Okay, so that's basic operations that you need to know how to copy, right? Now, I can copy all ones. How about if I want to do like increasing by 1? I have to start with 1 and 2, highlight both by selecting both. Do the same. So it's going to do increasing by 1. So if I do 5 and 10, can you guys guess what it happens? What it's going to be? It's going to increasing by 5, right? So if I want to do January, February, can you guys guess what it's going to be? Right? Is that cool? If you do Monday, Tuesday, So you don't need to spend time to type or copy or increment something. You can use Excel to do. Okay. Why? Because Excel has the formulas. This is like calculators, right? It can calculate too. If you want to find the sum, you can just go to the sum. Sum of all the 5, increment by 5 until between 1 and 110, right? So that's a sum of increment by 5 between 1 and 110. If you want to find average, this average of the numbers from 1 to 122, right? So that's average. If you want to find max min, they can find everything max min median mode, right? Now that's the basic operations with the mouse. Now come back to, since we know some basics, you can also put the grids, borders, styles, right? Then you go to cell styles, right? These are just the templates, right? Normal, that means they don't use anything. You can make a format as a table. It's going to create a table. But when you do table, it's going to add the columns for you to filters. Now, what is the filters do? Like, I'm interested to look at the one that has 10 hours or max hours or min hours. You see what I mean? Only the one with 19 hours. Boom, that's the answer for it. The note here. If you want long hours, you want to buy that one. But again, that's going to be Windows 8, right? You see, the filters can help you. Like, okay, so maybe I want to do, I can accept 12 hours and 19 hours. I have more options, right? So I can either do iPhone 6 Plus or Moto X. This is Android. That's better choices. I have all the OS for me to choose from, right? So that's the point of using filter too. Now look at the price. iPhone 6 is very high. Maybe I only have budget for Android, something like that, right? Since I'm going to get the same 12 hours long, when you look at the camera, this is even better. 13 megapixels, that only 8 iPhone 6. See that? The memory is 32 gigabyte. Okay, that's the providers, right? 3G, 4G, the same. And this is lighter weight, 5.08 ounces. Not bad, huh? Moto X. So that is something that we can use as the filter here. Like, the filters can do more than just this. Like, for example, I have the budget between, what's the budget for your phone, guys? So I'm going to do filters. I can do equals, does not equals, begins with, end with, contains, is less than or equals to. So I'm going to look at, I can do like conditions to this, right? I have the budget between, let's say, not more than $200, right? So I should use what is less than or equal to 200, right? There you go. So those are the options. So that's how you use filters in Excel to help figuring out the price, right? But of course, now let's look at this. You might want to clean up the data a little bit before you can really use them all. Why? If you look at iPhone 6, they happen to have 3 prices into one cell, right? Let's see if I do is less than or equals to $299. What happens if they have 3 prices in one cell, right? it's not going to show up because the data is not cleaning up. That's what I want you to do too. After you found the data, like this is I found the raw data, I might need to do some cleanup, right? To make sure it's going to separate into its own cells, right? Like, because when we do this, we only rely on type of numbers, right? That you need to be able to compare, right? Okay, so cleaning up could take you some time, but if you know how to operate, right? How to operate. Maybe I want to, like, just show you the basic, right? If I want to insert 2 rows, I highlight 2 rows and right click insert. And then I can just copy this whole thing down. Remember I taught you how to do copies, right? Just like that. Then I can just, instead of typing manually, I can just do the copy and paste, right? I think they only have 2 prices, right? Is it true? It should be 3 prices, right? But that one we see only 2, right? So that's pretty much how you clean up the data. Like, let's say I show you one more time here. We need 2 more rows, right? Highlight this, 2 rows. Then it's going to insert 2 more rows, right? Then I can just do copies. And then just use 299 for that one, right? And then, of course, this, we're going to tell you what happens. It did an increment too. Okay, I'm going to show you what. I think you already seen when we do the increments. Let me save this first. So, smartphone review. All right, so when you drag and drop like that, it's going to be increments based on this, just like when you do that, remember? So that's why it's also do the increment. Okay? Like now, you have to be very, very careful. Like it happened to increment 12 to 13, which we don't want that, right? Because original is 12 and 12, correct? So be careful with the data here. When you do that, it's also increment. So I'm changing them back. And you see iPhone 6 also come to iPhone 7. iOS, right? iOS. So that's something that you want to make sure too, okay? When you do copies this way. iOS 8. All right, so that's how you do the cleaning up. Now, let me just, maybe I do the, let's look at Samsung, right, Samsung and iPhone 6, all right. So, I want to make a graph, right? Of course, you need to clean up the rest too, to make it appropriate, right? So I'm not doing that yet here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to plot a chart. But before you plot a chart,